You don't start a relationship thinking you'll one day feel like you're begging for love. No one walks in imagining that asking for a hug, a touch, a moment of closeness will start to feel like standing outside your own home, knocking on a locked door. But for many people, that's exactly what happens. Not all at once, slowly, quietly, moment by moment. At first, it's small. Not tonight, I'm tired. A distracted, yeah, later when you reach for them on the couch. You brush it off because, of course, people get tired, stressed, overwhelmed. You tell yourself, it's normal, we're adults, life is busy. You don't realize that these tiny moments are the first cracks in something that used to feel safe. Then it happens again, and again. One night, you lean in to kiss them and they barely respond. Another night, you reach out in bed and their body stiffens instead of softening. You laugh it off, make a joke, pretend it doesn't matter, but your chest tightens in that quiet way you know too well. There is a moment in many relationships where asking for intimacy stops feeling like a natural part of love and starts feeling like begging. You don't just say, "Come here, I miss you." You start studying the room. You check their mood, their tone, the way they just sighed. You think, maybe I should wait. Maybe tonight is not the right time. Maybe I should be extra sweet first. You rehearse your own vulnerability in your head, like you're trying to pitch a business idea instead of reaching for your partner. And somewhere along the way, your needs stop feeling like needs and start feeling like a burden. You apologize before you even ask. "Hey, I know you're tired, but would you maybe want to cuddle? It's okay if not." You add, "It's okay if not," before they even answer, to give them an easy escape, to prove you're chill, understanding, low maintenance. Except you're not low maintenance, you're human. When the answer comes back as distance, irritation, or another excuse, something inside you shrinks. Maybe they roll their eyes. Maybe they say you're overthinking again, or why does everything have to be so intense with you? Maybe they just go quiet, pick up their phone and let the silence answer for them. And you do what you always do. You turn the pain inward. They're stressed. I'm being dramatic. I shouldn't have said anything. But your body knows it's not just about one night. Your nervous system feels the pattern, even when your mind tries to explain it away. Your stomach sinks in that familiar way. Your chest gets heavy. It's not the first time you've reached out and felt like your hand passed straight through the person in front of you. For many men, intimacy is not just physical. It's the one place where they stop feeling like they have to perform, fix, or achieve, and simply get to be wanted. So when a man has to beg for intimacy in his own relationship, when he feels like he is asking for too much just by wanting to be close to the person he loves, something deep inside starts to go quiet. At first, he argues. He tries to explain. He says, "I feel rejected. I feel like you don't want me." Maybe he gets clumsy with his words. Maybe it comes out as frustration. He's not always elegant about it, but underneath, he's just saying, "I want to feel chosen by you." If that pain is met with more dismissal, you're only thinking about one thing. You're so sensitive. You're making me feel guilty again. He learns the hardest lesson of all. It's safer not to ask, not to reach, not to need. He doesn't stop caring overnight. He doesn't one day wake up and decide, "You know what? I don't love her anymore." What he stops doing is risking. He stops initiating touches that might be rejected, stops starting conversations that might turn into arguments, stops sharing the parts of himself that feel too heavy, too messy, too vulnerable. On the outside, it looks like he's pulling away, becoming cold, detached, maybe even indifferent. On the inside, he's grieving a connection that technically still exists, but no longer feels alive. He is mourning the version of the relationship where reaching for you felt safe. And the tragedy is that often no one says this out loud. The story becomes, "He just changed." But it isn't only men. Women do this too. Anyone in any body can end up in a place where asking for love feels humiliating, where they keep a tally in their head. How many times did I reach out first this week? How many rejections can I take before I stop trying? So they adjust. They stop asking directly. Instead, they drop hints, hoping they won't come across as clingy. They post something sad online, hoping their partner will notice. They dress a little nicer, laugh a little louder around other people, secretly hoping it will spark something. But instead of feeling desired, they end up feeling like they're constantly auditioning for a role they already thought they had. This is the quiet cruelty of begging for intimacy. You start to believe that love is something you have to earn, that tenderness is a prize given only to the good, the chill, the easy partner. You begin to think, if I were more attractive, more fun, less emotional, then they would want me. You turn yourself into a project and your heart into a negotiation. Let me say this clearly. Needing closeness is not the problem. Wanting touch, attention, affection, that doesn't make you needy, it makes you alive. Your desire to be wanted by the person you love is not something to be ashamed of. What hurts you is not your need. What hurts you is being in a dynamic where that need is regularly ignored, minimized, or used against you. So, what can you do if you hear yourself in this? The first step is to notice the story you tell yourself every time you're rejected. Do you go straight to, I'm asking for too much? Do you instantly think, I should be more grateful, more patient, more understanding? Or can you pause for just a moment and ask a different question? If a close friend told me this same story, would I say to them what I'm saying to myself right now? Most of the time, the answer is no. You wouldn't tell your friend, you're disgusting for wanting closeness. You wouldn't tell them, you deserve to be ignored, or you should shut up and stop needing so much. So why is it okay to talk to yourself that way? The second step is to name the pattern, not just the episode. Write it down if you can. Not, we didn't have sex last night, but for the last 6 months, most of the times I've reached for them, I've been met with distance or annoyance. I feel humiliated in my own relationship. When you look at the pattern instead of the single moment, you stop gaslighting yourself. The third step is boundaries. Not about forcing your partner to give you what you want, but about protecting your own dignity. Boundaries like, I won't insult myself in my head every time you say no. I won't keep joking about my needs just to make them easier for you to ignore. I won't keep believing that my desire to feel wanted makes me broken. Sometimes a boundary will sound like an honest conversation. I feel rejected and small when I have to beg for closeness. I want us to talk about this honestly because I don't want resentment to grow between us. You're not accusing, you're not begging, you're naming your reality. And yes, sometimes the hardest boundary is this. If nothing changes, I will not keep shrinking myself to fit into a version of love where I am always the one asking and rarely the one chosen. Begging for intimacy is not love. Performing for crumbs of affection is not love. Convincing yourself that you're asking for too much when all you want is to feel wanted by your partner, that is not love. That is survival, and you deserve more than survival. Real intimacy is not something you have to twist yourself into to receive. It's not something that requires you to betray yourself over and over again. Real intimacy may be imperfect, messy, inconsistent at times, but at its core, it doesn't humiliate you for needing it. If any part of this feels like your story, I want you to hear this. You should never have to beg to feel chosen, never have to beg to feel worthy, never have to beg to feel like you belong in the arms of the person who says they love you. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to ask for more. And if more never comes, you are allowed to leave. Until then, start with this. Stop calling yourself too much. Start noticing how little you've been given. And remember, your tenderness is not the problem. The way it's being met is.